It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Monday, August 7th edition. And today on the show, you are going to hear a little bit of reaction to the United States women's team getting eliminated at the World Cup over the weekend. And there's just so much with it that we didn't get to the first time around that I wanted to point out. We've watched a lot of the reaction to it. I watched the game live. I got up early. And it's so crazy the way that this team is talked about differently than other teams in other sports, where things are said like the United States, they gave it their all. They put up a strong performance today, and you really feel for the players, that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff you'd never hear them say about, I don't know, like LeBron.
Never.
Can you imagine after the LeBron loses in the NBA Finals? You really feel for LeBron. He really gave it his all. A strong performance, but this is a cruel game.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
The part that's crazy to me is like they were the favorite.
Yeah.
Coming in, they were the favorite. Like they were the favorite to win. Like it's so hard when they lose in this fashion to a team that coming into this, everyone would have picked them against. And so when after the game, they're like, oh, we lost by millimeters or whatever it is. We put together such a great game. And a lot of them talked about, especially in the coverage, of how much they dominated the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if the U.S. women's national team, who was supposed to come in as, yet again, the clear favorite, we haven't lost in 20 games. We've won back-to-back World Cups. Like, if that team dominates another team, it's not tied. Like, you didn't dominate if the game is tied. I mean, maybe if it's like two teams that are very evenly matched, you can say one team's dominating. They're playing in a dominating fashion for their pace of play. But like the U.S. women's national team is the most talented team in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if they're dominating a team, they would be up by 3 goals.
Yeah.
And so, they didn't dominate Sweden. I think they're giving so much credit to the U.S. women's national team for putting in there such a good game when Sweden, who's the underdog and played a really good game, ended up winning the game. Like, it's just, you feel like they should get so much more credit than they are. It's crazy.
Yeah, nobody's talking about how well Sweden played, and they kept it close, and that's all they needed to do in this case because the United States never really exerted their dominance. But it is crazy, the attitude, even after you listen to the announcers and everybody, you listen to the players as they get interviewed after the game, and the attitude still sounds like, yeah, we really played a great game, and they aren't saying we got screwed.
No.
But it's kind of what it comes down to is what it sounds like. And they didn't get screwed. They deserve to lose.
Yeah, it was tough. And it stinks too because like they just had so much hype coming in. And so for us, like to be knocked out in the Sweet 16, as you would say in March Madness, it was just such a disappointing one. And the thing that stinks about the World Cup too is then now we have 4 years, and all these players they're playing right now. I mean, so much of the team is going to be different, and this was kind of like it seems like the last runaround with a lot of these iconic players. Because in 4 years from now, like a lot of the people that have won, that have made this team so great the past couple seasons, like Rapinoe and everybody, it's just, Julie Ertz and all these people that are not going to be on the team next year, it's just in 4 years, it just kind of puts a sting at the end of the career, you know?
Yeah, you wonder, in other sports sometimes, I don't think a loss is ever a good thing, but sometimes, like, it builds character. They say, like an emotional victory, whatever, like that kind of stuff. It doesn't seem like, again, from the reaction, that this seemed to build a lot of character. But maybe 4 years from now, you have a hungrier team that doesn't have the taste of winning. And feel like it's all been handed to them so far, and so maybe that changes things. But at this point, I don't know. I feel like it's more likely the rest of the world catches up more 4 years from now than the United States turns it around and gets their heads on straight.
It is going to be a completely new team. Like obviously Rapinoe and Alex Morgan. Like there's a lot of question marks on if they're going to be playing again in 4 years, and so a lot of the team that they'll have together for the next go round will not be those players that have been crushing it the last 8 years or so.
Yeah, until now. So more soccer coming up later in the show. Also, some good stuff about a dating red flag that involved shampoo. And it's a good show. You should stick around. Enjoy.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. Tinder's going to let you choose some awesome photos and ones that you would never pick for yourself, and they're going to go and make them your profile
But
picture.
it knows better than you.
Always.
Finally, an AI feature that actually is an improvement, I think.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It's the Riot.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the Riot. Radio U.
What do you say to this? You got a bride that this would definitely be considered a bridezilla. She's gone viral on the internet for complaining about the gifts that she received at her wedding. Doesn't think they were good enough.
See, gifts are something you're not supposed to complain about nearly ever.
Uh-huh.
Because it's a gift. That's like the point of a gift. You're supposed to be happy with whatever you get.
Yeah. Well, when you put it that way, though, if you ever were going to complain about a gift, I feel like the wedding is the one time, right?
No. Because, like, who are these people to give you gifts, you know? Like, if my brother got me something crappy, I'm more likely to say something to him than, like, my third best friend down the line.
Yeah.
Or my friend's parents that are at my wedding.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like it's different.
My husband's uncle.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what am I going to say to them?
Yeah. This is what she was saying to them. She went ahead and complained in a post that has now been deleted, as it should be. She was complaining that the wedding guests didn't bring gifts that even came close to covering the price of the plate for, like the food that she served at the wedding.
Yeah.
She says, according to her, it was about $200 per head for the food. It's pretty pricey, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That must have been a nice wedding. And so you might think to yourself, and she addresses this, well, that's pretty expensive. Maybe everybody couldn't afford a gift to match how much she spent on the food. But she says that they all live in an expensive area, and so they could easily afford the price. But she was disappointed to see that the gifts they brought did not match up to how much she spent on them putting the wedding food together.
Yeah, but still, you can't say anything, though. It doesn't really matter. Like, sorry, you came out at a loss. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Maybe next time, if you wanted to really have big profit margins,
the next wedding,
you should have had cheaper. You should have had cheaper food. Like, if you were trying to make as much money as possible, you should have went buffet style.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Your profit margins, like, who told you how to run a business?
Yeah, exactly. If your plates were $200 a piece, maybe you should have made them $50. If you really wanted the largest profit margins possible, that you're going to go so far as to complain.
Yeah, here's what I wonder. Do you think, because, typically with a wedding, you always have a wedding registry, right? Do you think that she didn't put enough expensive stuff on the registry, or that she had a registry and it was so filled with expensive stuff and the wedding guests were completely eschewing the registry, saying, no, thanks? Because that is kind of a bad move, too, especially if you're pretty sure they can afford it.
Yeah, that's for sure not the move.
For a wedding, you don't really go off registry, right?
No, you stick to registry.
You stick to the registry.
Unless you're, like, real close to the person and you're feeling real confident.
Yeah. You got to really know.
Majority of the time, you just stick to the registry.
Or the registry, like the specific thing for the registry sold out, so you've got to do similar price point, similar thing if it's like a coffee maker or something. But like the towels, the decorative towels that she picks, like that's a red decorative $300 decorative towels that she wanted. And so you got to go with those, even if you feel like it is a waste of money, because it's the only time you're going to do it.
Yeah, for her, I feel like, this is one of those times that, once it's over, it's over. Nobody asked you.
Yeah, you still got to be grateful.
Yeah, nobody told you how to plan your wedding. Nobody told you how much money you had to spend. So you can't tell people who you invited how much they're supposed to spend on you.
You want to start putting why don't you put the price per plate on the invitation?
Yeah, just so
people
you
have
know.
An idea. Yeah.
Like, and that still wouldn't change anyone's mind on anything.
No.
Like, it's not like people don't know coming to a wedding that their food is expensive.
They'd probably
that being invited is expensive.
They'd probably just be impressed, be like, nice, we're getting a good meal.
I can't wait.
$300 a plate for this food, and we're getting them a $40 toaster.
Seems like we're making out tonight.
Yeah.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
And maybe many people's Sunday morning was ruined when they woke up early to watch the United States team at the Women's World Cup. They did not get the result they were hoping for. The United States knocked out in the round of 16 by Sweden on penalties. That's how they say it, right? On
penalties, penalty kicks.
Yeah,
A shootout.
A shootout. You've seen what went down on Sunday morning. What are your thoughts?
It's tough when you leave it to penalty kicks. It's such like a shot in the dark. I mean, at that point, it's like sudden death, pretty much. Like anybody can win, and for us to miss 3 penalty kicks, I don't know. For me, like I've never played soccer. I'm not like a huge soccer fan, but that feels like the most like traditional, fundamental thing. Is just like scoring goals.
Yeah.
And so for them, for the ones they missed too, it just every time you see it, just not even forcing the goalie to make a save. That's like the biggest crime you can even commit.
Yeah. Some people, the final goal that was scored by Sweden that won the game barely crossed the line, and they needed to use the they call it the VAR technology to decide. And some people feel like maybe that was inaccurate or that's unfair because when you watch it live, it looks like maybe it's not a goal. And to them, I say at least Sweden shot it at the net.
At least they made the goalie make a save.
Yeah, right. You didn't need VAR technology to tell that the 3 shots the United States missed were misses. They were way, way off. And I've said this before. Well, I've said both of these things before. One, penalties are a stupid way to end a game. It'd be like ending a baseball game with a home run derby. Yeah. Which is stupid. But that's the way soccer does it. You can't have marathon matches. They're already long enough as they are. But two, I've criticized people. I think if you're a soccer player, there's no excuse for missing a penalty. And what I need to hone that in. Because if you shoot it and it gets saved by the goalie, that's one thing. Yes. But you've got a massive target. Would you say the biggest goal in all of sports?
It's definitely the biggest goal in all of sports.
In any sport that anybody thinks of. And if you can't shoot it at the goal, then what are you doing?
It is. Legitimately in this video, the worst one of all of the 3 was Megan Rapinoe, which is like the only player, like one of the few players on the U.S. women's national team that has like a lot of name value. Yeah. Like she's probably like been our best player for a while. And
a standby.
Yeah, everybody knows who she is. And so for her to go out there and completely miss.
Airmailed it.
That's like the worst way to miss too. Going high. Yeah. Put it on the ground. Come on. It's just like, it's tough to watch for the U.S. women's national team. Obviously coming into this, they were the runaway favorite. They've won like 20 games in a row. They've won the past two World Cups. And so for them to get knocked out in the round of 16, when they barely made it this far, it was just really disappointing for them. But at the same time, you can't always be at the top. So no, they can't win it every year.
Yeah. As soon as the game ended, the broadcasters were talking about, well, this is going to be better for them going forward.
In 6 years from now, 4 years from now, when they're back.
They'll be stronger for it. But I want to end with I've got one lesson I want to teach everybody today. And that is, I knew the United States was going to lose. I did predict it on the show on Friday, but that was just guessing. But then leading up to the game, I knew. And the way I knew is because every single sports book was saying, bet on the United States to advance. We've boosted the odds. Yeah. And when I saw every single sports book doing that, I thought, oh, they know.
They know they're going to lose.
Yeah, this is not happening. So that is, I'm sure a lot of people got suckered into that. And you got to know, if the sportsbook's like, please bet on this, please, that means they know.
That means it's over.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
What is the best Lunchable?
It depends so much. Some of my favorites, you've got the OG pizza one.
That's what I loved growing up.
You've also got the nacho cheese salsa chip one.
I had some real good salsa and nachos over the weekend. Oh, it's good.
Yeah. And then you also have the one that has like the crackers, the ham, and the cheese.
Yeah, those are the classics, right?
Some of my favorites. I don't know if there's any other ones, but those are the only ones that I ever liked.
I believe they have some that have like chicken nuggets in them.
Really?
Yeah, like actual chicken nuggets. I don't know how those taste. I don't know how. See, for me, I was big on the pizza one, but the pizza one shines the brightest when you have a microwave involved.
Oh, not cold, you're saying?
Yeah, it's still okay cold, but there's nothing quite like the microwavable. The pizza, you microwave it, melt up the cheese a little bit, maybe even toast that pepperoni a little bit, get a little crisped up. That's the way I like it. That was my favorite Lunchable.
But that's not a true Lunchable, though.
You don't think so?
No, because you would have to take a Lunchable to school. That was the point of a
that's
Lunchable.
right.
And then there was no microwaving at school. That's what made it so great. Because you could just eat it how it was.
Which I intend to change when they elect me to school board. One of my top things is going to be put microwaves for kids.
Yeah.
I think they should be able to have them. I don't think that's too big of a deal. But the Lunchables, they're about to experience a little bit of a change. Lunchables announced that starting this month in some stores and certainly by next year, the company that makes Lunchables, Kraft Heinz, is going to be putting out some new variations of their classic Lunchables. Variations that include fruit instead of the little chocolate bar. I thought you liked fruit.
I like fruit.
You love clementines. Clementine's one of the fruits they're putting in there.
Yeah, but I'm an adult.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to eat a Lunchable yet again because I'm an adult.
Uh-huh.
But as a child, like a 9-year-old, if you're like between, do I get the Lunchable with the fruit?
Uh-huh.
Or do I get the Lunchable with the Crunch Bar? Which one do you think I want?
Yeah, but of
the
course.
chocolate.
Of course when you're a child, but you don't buy your own Lunchables when you're a kid. It's your mom. She's in charge. She does the grocery shopping. And so when she buys you the ham and cheese and apple slice Lunchable.
Just know your mom doesn't like you very much. That's what you need to know.
But I mean, you got to have healthier options, you know?
But I feel like if you're doing Lunchables anyway, Lunchables are that's like a low calorie option anyway, right?
I mean, it's got some decent health benefits, I would think. You got crackers, they're not bad for you, right?
You got ham.
Ham, that's got a lot of protein, right?
Meat.
Or turkey, which is very lean meat.
Turkey's
lean protein.
lean.
And then you add in here the vitamins and nutrients that come from apples, grapes, pineapple, or clementines.
We'll get that out of here. X-nay that.
What is a Crunch Bar adding to your nutritional value? Or Oreo cookies?
Happiness, Hudson. Happiness. When you go to school and you pop out your Lunchable, you're like in 2nd grade, and then your best friend next to you pops out his Lunchable. That's not your best friend. Your worst nightmare. The kid who's been bullying you. He pulls out a Lunchable, and you pull out the fresh grapes, and he pulls out the Oreo or the Crunch Bar. How do you think little Johnny's going to feel? Not very good.
Yeah, but
Not only is he kicking your butt, he's also has the chocolate.
You got to keep in mind, though, that sometimes what kids want is stupid. You know that.
Oh, I know that.
You got to say no to kids. You got to say, no, Johnny, you don't get the Crunch Bar. You get pineapple.
But in the long run, how much is it really making a difference? It's like the tiniest little mini Crunch Bar of all time versus what, 4 grapes? Is that the trade-off? Do we do the Crunch Bar or 4 grapes? I mean, come on.
If podcast awards were ever a thing, this show wouldn't win any. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you know Tinder is rolling out a new feature here in the coming days that will allow you to use artificial intelligence to choose your best pictures of yourself to put on your profile? It will recommend which ones they think will give you the best odds of people swiping right on you. Would you use this?
I would use it just to see what it thought, you know? Because I know what's a good photo of me.
Tinder.
Yeah, if I wasn't banned. I know what a good photo of me is. Like the ones that I would select, in my mind, are clearly the best photos. But if they told me that this like one that I would never choose was the best photo, then I would just completely throw away the AI. It can't be right.
But what if, you are looking at pictures that you think are best in your eyes, but this AI will be looking at the pictures through the eyes of the people you're trying to attract.
The woman.
The woman, in other words.
Yes.
So maybe what looks good to you doesn't look good to women. I think that could be a very fair assessment.
But how would the computer know?
Because it knows what women are swiping right on.
good-looking guys, I guess.
Yeah.
They can just tell when someone's attractive. It's hard to say because, like, I know when I look at the pictures that I would use, I feel like I guess they kind of do this anyway. I know some of the apps have it to where they reorder your photos. Your most popular one's the one that they put first. And everyone's always surprised at what their most popular photo is.
Right.
So a lot of times, like when someone swipes on you on Tinder, they've been doing this for a long time. Same thing on Bumble as well. If they swipe on a certain photo, then that one gets like more points. And then by the time enough people swipe on it, then it's your first photo they show.
Yeah.
And so you kind of don't set your photos anyway. And so when you meet someone that you go on a date with off Tinder, you should ask them what the first photo they saw is because that's your best photo.
That's a good.
And you'll be shocked because it's never one you think it is.
Yeah. I wonder here, when you sign up, like when you use Tinder and stuff, it connects, like you can connect your Instagram and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
So if it could crawl through all of your Instagram and there might be pictures on there you don't even consider. And then it's like, this one, actually, we think the ladies would really love this one. Why don't you put it on here?
You know what would be the most humbling way? Is if you just like upload like your camera roll to it.
Yeah.
And it picks a photo of you from like 3 years ago. And you're like, you look really good here. And you're like, well, I don't really look like, I mean, I look similar to that, but not really the same. Is it a catfish? If I put this on here, I don't know, maybe.
This photo where you have 20 more pounds of muscle or 20 less pounds of fat.
That when you really hit the gym. He's like, I think this is your best photo. I'm like, well, I can't really put that one on there.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be lying.
Yeah, people might be disappointed when they actually meet up. I don't know. I think it can't hurt, right?
Yeah, you should check it out.
And it definitely increases your chances of attracting an AI.
Oh, if you want the bots.
Yeah.
If you really want the bots, hey, they'll pay a lot of attention to you.
They will.
They won't ghost you either.
They might treat you well.
It's the safest way to date.
Until they start scamming you for money.
Until you had to send them $500.
Yeah.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
I've got a woman here going viral on TikTok. She's caused quite the debate over her reason for dipping out on a date. It was a red flag that she considered an instant emergency. She had to leave. She went into the guy's bathroom. He had invited her over. And what she found in the shower, 17 bottles of herbal essences.
All the same flavor, too.
Shampoo and conditioner. Yeah. Yeah. So she said that's a major red flag. I got to fake a family emergency and dip. That's the end of that. People are debating whether that was fair or foul for her to just run on out of there like that. What is your call?
See, I'm not familiar with herbal essences shampoo.
Does that make a difference?
Because I feel like, well, then why would she get out of there? Is it like a weird brand of shampoo or something, or is it just all the bottles?
I think it doesn't matter what brand. The brand doesn't matter as much as that there's 17 of them.
Yeah, that is odd.
It's a lot of shampoo to have. Why do you need that much? I thought at first, before I saw the headline, and I was like, oh, so he never throws out the empty bottles, because I know some people that I might be married to that do that. But but he has like 17 full bottles, which I don't know if that's better or worse.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, though, you know that he's washing his hair.
That's right. Or is he? Because they're all
Well, he wouldn't have so many
full.
bottles. He wouldn't take it. Like, if he wasn't washing, he just wouldn't have shampoo in general. He's got plenty of shampoo. And there's a lot of them that are pretty empty there.
I mean, he's set for life on those.
For a long time.
Yeah. They're also, I don't know. Is that end of date worthy, though? You've already gotten to the stage where you're coming over to their house.
No, it's not end of date worthy. I think there's no reason to leave because of that.
Is it questionable at least, though?
When I think about it, though, because I think about my day-to-day life,
Yeah.
I think maybe, what about if this is like his mom? His mom, like for everything that you think of, because my mom kind of does this.
Yeah.
For every like occasion, she like buys you like a small gift. And especially with like shampoo, hand soap, anything that's like cleanliness. Like my mom would just show up, like, oh, I have deodorant, and like just randomly give me things like that.
Yeah.
And so maybe every time his mom sees him, she just hands him a bottle of shampoo.
That's definitely possible. Yeah, he could be getting it I think that's a pretty reasonable explanation, actually, since it's always like the same brand.
Yes.
Why would he keep rebuying it when
Because he knows how much he has.
Right.
His mom doesn't know how much he has in there.
Some others say another explanation could be that he bought it at like Costco. And still, I mean, they don't sell 17 bottles at Costco. They would sell like 4, right?
And you would open them one at a time. It's kind of weird that he keeps on using different ones.
Stash it under the sink. So, yeah, I don't think it's end of day worthy.
You don't
either.
dip the date because this man likes to wash his hair.
Right.
No matter if he has 17 bottles or 2.
I think that's. I think she got at her jump to conclusions, Matt, on this one. That she thinks it's weird. It is weird, but it's not like red flag weird.
No, and it's such an easy fix too. Like if you were to date this guy, you'd just be like, throw away the shampoo. We're not doing that.
It's easily addressed. Like I wouldn't even feel bad to ask him.
On the first date, I would have asked.
Yeah, right.
I would have walked back out and been like, "What's up with all the shampoo?"
Yeah, I don't get it. I think she's gonna have a hard time finding a match if she's running up for this.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
You consider yourself a whiz in the kitchen?
I'm all right.
Maybe a king in the kitchen?
I wouldn't say king.
You wouldn't say a king?
I'd say amateur.
Okay. You more of a pauper than a prince when it comes to the kitchen?
I would say, yeah, more of a joker.
Yeah, there you go. If you do fancy yourself a bit of a kitchen master, then White Castle has a little contest for you. You know, White Castle with the sliders.
Heard of them.
They are running a contest. They call it the White Castle Slider Showdown, running through September 4th, where they are looking for somebody to come up with the most creative and delicious recipe using White Castle sliders. How can you put White Castle sliders to good use to actually make them tasty in a recipe? If you can come up with the best recipe, you would win free sliders for a year, recognition at a special event at White Castle's home office in early 2024, and some White Castle swag.
Wow. But how creative can you be with White Castle sliders, you know?
I think the more creative, the better.
No, I think that I agree. But at the same time, like, what route are you even taking? I guess there are people that are like bougie chefs.
Yeah.
That could figure out something creative. But like my mind, I like to think I'm a creative person, but not in regards to food. That's a whole different way of thinking.
What if you made them into some kind of like casserole or something, you know?
Like chopping it all up together?
Yeah, like you made it into like a slider lasagna type thing. You could cut them lengthwise and then put like layer and then put some other layer in. And then again, I don't know. I'm already starting to get the juices flowing here, to get the little creative juice. Because I've watched enough cooking shows to know you can get real wild with stuff like this. Some people see sliders the way they are and ask why. I see sliders the way they aren't and ask why not.
And I think as well as coming up with whatever the recipe is, I think what might be just as important is coming up with a catchy name.
Oh, that's a good point.
You got to name your dish.
Maybe you come up with the name first and then see where that leads you.
And figure it out along the way.
Yeah. So what you want to come up with a good slider recipe name right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. I'll say a word, then you say a word, and we'll do like 4 words, and then that'll be the name of the dish. Dazzling.
Slider.
Mayhem.
Castle.
Castle? We could have called it, you could have just said casserole, and then it would have been actually
we need it. Should we do?
You want to redo it?
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Spectacle.
Of.
Slider.
Tender.
Oh, so there's gonna be tenders in it.
I think we might have to bread them
to the Oh, hey, there you go. Deep fry them.
Oh, we could deep fry them.
That's usually a winner.
We probably should have added in cheese into one of the names too.
Yeah,
we could have just thrown
it.
It doesn't mean
you can't put cheese in.
Well, cheese is already on there, isn't it?
I don't know if they come with cheese.
You can add cheese.
I believe they come with what you get is, you can add cheese, but it's a little slider bun, and then you have to have the onions. There's no way around that. And then the little tiny patty, but I don't know if cheese is actually included or not.
You should add cheese.
I'll tell you what. We've given you some ideas. We're working on this. Dazzling. What did we say? Dazzling slider mayhem casserole.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could be good.
That sounds like it could be something.
Yeah, or spectacular slider mayhem something. No, tender something. I don't know. We'll work on it.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.